The sun was setting low on the horizon, painting the cracked road in shades of gold and orange. The town was quiet, too quiet for a Friday evening. A faint breeze carried the smell of dust, gasoline, and fried food from a small roadside stall. The only sound breaking the silence was the thunder of engines in the distance. 3 motorcycles roared into view, their chrome bodies glinting in the sunlight. The riders, a group of seasoned bikers, slowed down and pulled up beside the stall. Their leather jackets bore patches that read Iron Hawks MC. They looked intimidating, tall, broad-shouldered, faces hardened by the road. The leader, Logan, killed his engine first. Behind him were Jake, the youngest of the crew with restless eyes, and Mason, the quiet one who rarely spoke. They removed their helmets, letting out a collective sigh of relief after a long 200-mile ride. "Man, I could eat a cow right now," Mason said, stretching his arms. Logan chuckled. "You'll have to settle for a burger." "Brother." They walked to the stall, ordered food, and leaned on their bikes, laughing, teasing, enjoying the calm after hours of open-road thunder. But then, Logan noticed something, a small figure standing across the street. A little girl, no older than 10, clutching a small bicycle with one bent wheel. Her hair was messy, her face streaked with dust. She stood perfectly still, staring at the bikers with big, tired eyes. At first, they ignored her. Travelers saw kids all the time, selling flowers, cleaning windshields, asking for coins. But there was something different about this one. She didn't beg. She just stood there, holding onto that broken bike like it was the only thing she owned. After a moment, she slowly crossed the street. Her steps were hesitant, her shoes worn and mismatched. She stopped a few feet from Logan, her eyes lowered. "Sir," her voice was small but clear. "Would you buy my bicycle?" The laughter died instantly. Logan blinked. "What?" She swallowed hard, her voice trembling. "Please, sir, would you buy it? My mommy hasn't eaten in 2 days." Even Jake, who was mid-bite, froze. The words hit him like a punch to the gut. The girl kept talking, almost whispering now. "It still works a little. You can fix it. I just need some money. I promise I'll clean it for you." Her fingers were shaking on the handlebars. The bike was rusted, with one pedal missing and a chain hanging loose. It wasn't worth a cent, but the way she looked at it, like it was her last hope, broke something inside the men. Logan crouched down so he was eye-level with her. "What's your name, sweetheart?" "Anna," she said softly. "My mommy says we don't ask for money. So I'm selling my bike." He felt his throat tighten. He looked at Jake, who seemed speechless, and Mason, whose jaw was clenched. "How old are you, Anna?" Logan asked gently. 10, sir. Mommy used to work at the diner, but it closed. Then Daddy..." She stopped, her voice breaking. "Daddy went to heaven last month." Logan's hand dropped to his knee. He could feel the weight of her words settle on his chest. He reached into his jacket and pulled out his wallet. "How much do you want for the bike?" Anna shrugged. "Just enough for food. Mommy's too weak to walk now. Maybe $5. Logan pulled out a crisp $50 bill and held it out to her. "Keep your bike," he said softly. "It's not for sale anymore." Anna's eyes widened. "But, sir..." "Take it," he insisted. "Buy food for your mom." Tears filled her eyes as she accepted the money. Her tiny hands trembled as if she was holding gold. "Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I'll go buy something right now." She turned and ran down a narrow dirt alley, clutching the money and her bike. The 3 bikers stood in silence for a while. The mood had changed. The fries on the table went cold. Jake finally spoke, his voice low. "Boss, something's off." "What do you mean?" Logan asked. Jake leaned against his motorcycle. "You saw how she looked, skinny, pale. And did you see her clothes? Torn, dirty. That wasn't just hunger, that's desperation." Logan exhaled heavily. "Yeah, but we can't help everyone, Jake. We gave her money." Jake shook his head. "No, man. I can't stop thinking about her. She said her mom hasn't eaten in 2 days. What kind of world leaves a 10-year-old to beg like that?" Mason glanced up. "You're gonna follow her, aren't you?" Jake grabbed his helmet. "Damn right I am." Logan sighed. "Fine, be careful. Call me if something's wrong." Jake nodded, revved his engine, and took off down the road. The sound of his motorcycle faded into the distance as the night began to fall. The alleyways grew narrower as he followed where she'd run. The smell of garbage filled the air. A stray dog barked from behind a fence. After a few turns, Jake spotted her, that same little figure kneeling beside something. He slowed his bike, parked it quietly, and walked closer. What he saw made his chest tighten. Anna was beside an old woman lying on a thin blanket, propped against the wall of an abandoned building. The woman's face was pale, her body frail like she hadn't eaten in days. "Mommy, please," Anna whispered, tearing open a small loaf of bread she had just bought. "Eat some. You'll feel better soon." The woman smiled weakly. "You shouldn't have sold your bike, sweetheart." "I didn't," Anna said proudly. "A nice man gave us money. He said, keep the bike. We can buy more food tomorrow." Jake's throat burned. He stepped forward quietly. "Hey," he said gently. "Are you both okay?" Anna turned, startled. Then she recognized him, the man with the shiny black motorcycle. "We're fine, sir," she said quickly. "Mommy just needs to rest." Jake crouched down beside them. "You don't look fine, sweetheart. Where do you live?" Anna hesitated. "We used to live in the yellow house near the corner, but some bad men came last week. They said Daddy owed them money. They took everything, even his taxi." Jake's expression hardened. "Bad men?" She nodded slowly. "They hit Mommy. They said they'd come back if we didn't pay." For a moment, Jake didn't move. Then he pulled out his phone and called Logan. "Boss," he said quietly, his tone darker than before. "You need to come here, now." Logan's voice came through the speaker. "What happened?" Jake looked at Anna, still trying to feed her weak mother piece by piece. "It's not just hunger. Someone took everything from them, and I think I know who." He ended the call, his knuckles tightening around his phone. The sound of motorcycles would soon echo again through the narrow streets, but this time it wouldn't be for a ride, it would be for justice. The night had fallen heavy over the town. Streetlights flickered weakly, and the narrow lanes were bathed in an orange glow. Somewhere in the distance, dogs barked and old neon signs buzzed. Jake stood beside the little girl and her mother, his phone still in his hand. He didn't say a word, just stared at the weak woman lying on a thin blanket, her breathing shallow. He'd seen a lot on the road, accidents, poverty, desperation. But this was different. This wasn't just bad luck. It was cruelty. 10 minutes later, the rumble of engines grew louder. Logan and Mason arrived, their headlights cutting through the darkness like twin beams of justice. They parked near the building, engines idling. Logan climbed off his bike and looked around. "Jake, talk to me." Jake nodded toward the woman. "This is Anna and her mom. Some men took everything from them last week. Said her father owed money. They took his taxi, their furniture, everything. Even hit the mom when she begged them to stop." Logan's eyes darkened. "Loan sharks." "Yeah," Jake replied. "The girl said they come from the old garage near the river. You remember that place?" Mason spat on the ground. "Yeah, I know those rats. They shake down poor families every month. Cops won't touch them because they pay bribes." Logan's jaw tightened. "Then we'll handle it." Anna looked up, her small voice trembling. "Sir, please don't get hurt because of us." Logan knelt beside her, his rough hand gentle on her shoulder. "Don't worry, sweetheart. We don't hurt unless we have to. You and your mom deserve peace. We'll make sure you get it." She nodded silently, clutching her broken bike. The bikers geared up. Leather gloves tightened, helmets locked, boots planted firm. Their engines growled as they headed toward the river, cutting through the sleeping town like wolves on a mission. The old garage sat at the edge of town, rusted gates, half-broken lights and loud music echoing from inside. A few men stood outside, smoking, laughing, counting money under the glow of a single bulb. Logan parked his bike a few feet away. The music drowned as he walked closer, calm but deadly. One of the men turned. "Hey, who the hell are you?" Logan smiled faintly. "The guy who's here to collect a debt." Before the man could react, Logan's fist connected with his jaw, a sharp, bone-crunching sound that sent him sprawling. The others jumped up instantly, pulling out knives and pipes. But Jake and Mason were already behind Logan, ready. "Looks like payday came early," Jake muttered. A fight broke out fast and brutal. The first man swung a metal rod, but Mason caught it midair and slammed him against the wall. Jake dodged a punch, countered with a kick to the ribs, and sent the man crashing onto a pile of boxes. Logan grabbed the leader, a thick man with gold chains, and pinned him against a car hood. "You like taking money from widows, huh?" he growled. "You steal from kids?" The man sneered through bloodied lips. "It's business. The old man owed us. Your business is over." Logan cut him off, punching him again, not for revenge, but for every night Anna's mother had gone hungry. When the fight ended, the men were on the ground, groaning, stripped of their weapons and their pride. The bikers searched the place and found bags of cash, jewelry, and documents, evidence of every poor family they'd robbed. Jake tossed a bag to Logan. "We give this back to the people they took it from." Logan nodded. "And these scum? Let the town deal with them," Mason said, tying the gang leader's hands with a rope. "They'll wake up with nothing, just like the people they ruined." Logan looked down at the beaten men one last time. "If I ever hear you touch another family again," he leaned closer, voice cold as steel, "I'll come back, and next time I won't knock." They left the garage in silence, the moonlight reflecting off their helmets. Behind them, the thugs groaned in the dirt, stripped of power, money, and fearlessness. When they returned to the alley, Anna was sitting beside her mother, who was now awake, sipping from a small bottle of water. The relief in her tired eyes was visible. Logan crouched down, setting a bundle of money beside her. "This belongs to you, and a few others they stole from." The woman's hands shook. "We can't take this, sir. You've done too much." "Take it," Logan said firmly. "It's yours." They took it. "We just brought it back." Jake knelt beside Anna, smiling softly. "Hey, champ, your bike's looking rough. Mind if I fix it up?" Anna smiled for the first time that night. "Really? Really?" he said, giving her a playful wink. "It deserves a second chance, just like you." While Mason fetched tools from his saddlebag, Jake repaired the chain and tightened the wheel. Within minutes, the old rusty bike stood steady again. Anna's mother watched with tears in her eyes. "Why would you help us? You don't even know us." Jake paused, wiping grease from his hands. "Because once someone helped me when I had nothing. Guess it's my turn now." The woman reached out weakly, holding his hand. "You've given us more than help. You've given us hope." Logan handed Anna a small card with their club's emblem, a silver hawk spreading its wings. "If anyone ever bothers you again, call this number. We'll come." Anna held the card close like it was treasure. "Thank you, sir. I'll never forget you." Logan smiled, then glanced at Jake. "We should go. The road's waiting." Jake nodded. "Yeah, but—" He reached into his jacket, pulled out a small teddy keychain, and tied it to the handle of her bike. "For luck." Anna beamed, hugging the bike like it was brand new. As the bikers mounted their motorcycles, the engines roared to life. The mother and daughter watched as three dark silhouettes rode into the night, tail lights glowing like red comets. Jake looked back one last time, the little girl standing under the dim streetlight, her bike gleaming, her mother smiling weakly beside her. For the first time in a long while, the road ahead felt peaceful. Logan shouted over the wind, "Guess we did good tonight, huh?" Jake grinned beneath his helmet. "Yeah, sometimes the road doesn't just take you places, it brings you to the right people." The trio disappeared into the horizon, the sound of engines echoing through the quiet night. And in that lonely town, beneath the flickering streetlight, hope flickered back to life, in the heart of a little girl who learned that even strangers on roaring bikes could become angels on wheels.